Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this bonus video for all of you. I was debating whether I wanted to share this, and I thought, you know what, why not? Because maybe it will bless somebody out there that is listening. I wasn't sure how to title this video because I wasn't sure what for labels I wanted to put on this video. The labels are conservative and liberals are friends. I don't really like labeling people, but sometimes you have to use a label in order for you to understand the scope of the video. I'm conservative. I have a friend who is very liberal. Now, I don't really like using that term, but I didn't know how else to use it. I profess and I acknowledge that I am a Christian. She just recently made a video where she shared with the world that she is not a Christian and that her progressive thinking, okay, well, we can use that word maybe. I don't know what word to use. I'm old-fashioned. I am not for a lot of the modern thinking of the world, and she is the opposite. She is very much into mainstream way of living. So what's the deal with the video? Well, not too long ago, I made a video for all of you where I pretty much drew a line in the sand. I stood on this line of it, and I shared with you my thoughts, my feelings about everything that happened. Yes, I talked about the election a little bit, not very much, but the whole theme of my video was to say how we can still respect one another, we can still love one another, but I said my feelings. Immediately that video got shared, you know, drama shares. I didn't think it was a drama video, but evidently YouTube thought it was, and they shared that video among lots of people. My main supporters watch my videos and they know where I stand and they know me, but I guess when that went into the scary world of the internet, it got shared. And then the floodgates came in of mean things said about me and about the candidate and just the whole political thing of all of it, saying things that were, maybe some of it was true or maybe it wasn't. Most of it is probably rumors. Being in social media, I understand a little bit what the political people go through on a very small scale. People can copy and paste and take things, and they can put things into words that you never even said. And sometimes that happens in the political world as well. They will snap out certain things and then they scrunch it all together to make it sound like you are totally a different person than what you are. I know what it's like to be lied about. I know what it's like to be exaggerated about. And I know what it's like to a little bit have that condemnation on a small scale, of course. So whether we hear things on the news or we hear things, sometimes it may not always be true. With that being said, I want to share with you an experience that I had. So I posted that video and I did lose viewers from it. I gained viewers from it and I lost viewers from it. But you know, overall, it was a good thing. I was almost inclined to delete that video. I know. It's something I work on. And I didn't delete that video. And my husband said, "Don't you dare do that, Tessie. Don't you dare delete that video. Stand on your own 2 feet." Yes, sir. And I kept the video. And then about a week later, someone who I have supported numerous times on my channel, many times on my channel, a homemaking channel. I won't name the channel name because it doesn't really matter. What matters is the final summary of my experience. And so this person came out with a video like mine, but totally opposite than me. This person went on to say they're not a Christian. They went on to say that they believe in a lot of things that I don't necessarily 100% agree with. Some of it I really don't agree with, but it was basically opposite of me. And then that person got hate. And so I was watching that person's comment section for the probably 7 hours after the video was filmed. I didn't comment the person. I really didn't know what to do because I didn't want to get bashed on there because everybody knows where I stand, and I wasn't really the welcome type of comment on there. Just the idea of Homestead, Tessie commenting after what she said, I just left it go. But I read her comments. And like me, she was busy because some of the comments were extremely out of the world rude to her. And of course she deleted those. As content creators, if a comment is really degrading and it's really an awful comment and very upsetting, we will delete those comments. If it's a comment that's respectful and they don't agree with us, but they're not bashing us, bashing anything else, then we keep it up. Unfortunately, with these type of videos, it's usually a lot of really bad bashing of one another. And so I watched her comment section. For a day and a half, I prayed about it. I said, Lord, what do you want me to do? Because this is someone that I highly supported, someone that I shared her books on my videos, and I felt really bad for her. Imagine that. Wait a minute. She's extremely opposite of me, and I felt bad for her. I did. Because in life, no one deserves to be bashed, bullied, or hated. Let me make that clear again. No one deserves to be bashed, bullied, or hated. And I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to be cut to the bone by people who lie about me and say things about me and say that I said things when I never even said them. It's outright craziness. So I understood. Of course, they were saying some mean things to her, and then there were some people that were kind of like me. They said, oh, I'm so sorry, but you know, I believe this way. I am a Christian. I can't support you anymore. And I totally understand that. Because there are some people that totally 100% disagree with me and they can't support me. Even though my channel is one that's full of love of everyone. And the Lord kept speaking to me. Not in an audible voice like he came thundering down from heaven, but he kept speaking to me and he said, Tessie, reach out to her. And I did. I sent her a very long email explaining to her that even though we are very different, there's one thing that we have in common. And we know firsthand what it feels like to be hated. And I told her the world would be a better place if we could all choose to love one another, to listen to one another, but still keep that conviction in our hearts. You see, I am a Christian. I will always be a Christian. And I have big, strong convictions. I'm not supporting her in her way of thinking. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ever going to be swayed in her way of thinking. I laugh about that because that is just totally something I would never do. I know firsthand what the Lord has done in my life, and I know firsthand the healing powers of being a born-again Christian and how God has given me a light in a very dark world. But with that being said, I do know that the Lord is not the Lord of hate. He is the Lord of love. I waited a day and I didn't hear anything from her. And I thought, you know, well, okay. Lord, you know, I don't know what I was expecting. I just thought maybe I would hear from her. And the next day I did. She sent me a very long email. And she told me that she was standing on her own 2 feet. And that she was not going to let the masses of people that don't believe in her way of living or what she does to dictate how she's going to live her life. And I told her, like her, I'm standing on my own 2 feet. My friends, we cannot be a witness to people that are unbelievers if we spread hatred and we spread meanness to others. So where do we stand? We are both friends. We both email each other. She told me she's no longer going to be a homemaker, which she did in that video. and write about homemaking anymore. And I told her, I said, if she ever changes her mind, I would be more than happy to share her homemaking books. Does that mean I share her line of thinking? No. You know, somebody said a long time ago, well, they don't shop at certain places because those places don't line up with their thinking. And I can totally understand that. But to be honest with you, everything that we buy, every single where, almost somewhere, the source is from a place that we don't believe in. I'm just saying, unless you can make things out of thin air, some things you're going to buy that somewhere down the line, it may be not our sort of way of thinking. Take, for instance, my beautiful apron. This can be a handmade apron. It could be an apron that somebody made, and that is your line of thinking. But the material could have came from somewhere that you don't even know where, or the dye for the red color. So that is how I feel about my friend. I can support her in a way that I show her Christian love, and she knows where I stand. And I will always be kind to her and pray that somehow the Lord would make himself known to her. I told her that I pray that the Lord would give her peace that passes all understanding. You see, the Lord uses all kinds of people. You know that, right? The Lord in the Bible used so many people from so many walks of life. How about the rich young ruler who said, Lord, Lord, how do I follow you? Sell everything you own, he said, take up your cross and follow me. And he hung his head and he walked away. The Lord used him as a parable to spread his word to other people. Does the Lord use people who don't live for him? Yes, the Lord will use people for his glory that maybe at this moment aren't living for him. And so the line was crossed in the sand. I am who I am. I will be who I am to the day I take my last breath. But I will tell you one thing. I will never hate people because I know what hate does. And I know how hate feels. And I know my Lord does not approve of hate. We pray for people. Will I continue to watch her videos? I don't know. I don't watch videos that promote a godless society, and I don't watch videos that promote things that would be anti-God. I will pray about that. But I felt in my heart to share with all of you. Don't hate people because God is working in people's lives. You may not see it right now, but you may be, let me say this really, you may be the only witness that that person ever will receive. And so we don't follow the footsteps of people we don't believe in, but yet we can pray for them and pray that God will use them in mightily ways.